Thank you very much, Pastor Osofo Davis Hazel, for getting that music through. Alrighty. Well, let's get into a conversation around African cinema. I know that you have had the fight within yourself to talk about how you had movies of yesteryears, how quality they were, and now what you're seeing. In any case, some countries they have non-existent film industries and all of that. So let's get into that within the short period of time that we have. A legend has joined us, a man who made our days as young people. Of course, the old will also tell you, from the days of Things We Do for Love, they created stars, people who enjoyed and are still enjoying that particular one. And of course, Yolo also came in to connect to the Gen Z guys, still same quality and all of that. He's here in the studios with us, Mr. Ivan Quashigah the Great. It's good to have you. You're in white. Any news?
No, but it's my signature. I like to look clean.
Okay.
Clean.
Yeah. As for us, those who are wearing black. Yeah.
No, I think that is because whenever I'm in white, some people tell me that, oh, this is really nice.
Okay, all right.
You know, you tend to do what people say is good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You didn't come from your father's upbringing?
My dad was a military person, so they were the greens.
Okay. But the ironing, I mean.
Yeah, that one, yes.
Yes,
you came
of
from.
Course. All right. It's good to have you in the studios.
Right.
You have engaged in a lot of conversation as far as the film industry in Ghana and Africa is concerned. In recent times, I've seen you at, forum organized by the National Film Authority.
Yeah.
I know it was set up not too long, but tell me, do we have a clear-cut film policy, just like how people have foreign policies? Do we have a policy regarding how film is produced, the value chain is covered? Do we have it in place?
Well, in terms of the paperwork, we have the act that has established the National Film Authority, which is to streamline the process of filmmaking in Ghana. But in terms of the execution, in terms of an industry that would know how things are done from pre-production through production to distribution and exhibition, we are still, grappling with a lot of challenges. So yes, we are in the process of putting together the structures. We're in the process of developing the talent, the crew, including the cast and all that, to take up these difficult challenge. But I can say yes, we have an industry. We used to have the Ghana Film Industry Corporation, which was GFIC, that was sold. At the time, I would say that we have some semblance of a film industry, but at the moment, things have become more privatized. So you realize that people that are entrepreneurs that want to go into that industry tend to cut a lot of corners, and a lot of things are not done the way they're supposed to be done. So this is where the National Film Authority is supposed to come in, to streamline things, to get things going.
I see.
Yeah.
Before Biadela comes in, you have been one that has produced movies that people relate to.
Yeah.
So you throw it out there and, all of a sudden everybody, the craze is there, they want to watch it more. I have read that it is only people who have researched that get people to that. Does it come from a research point of view, or to you is just experience?
Well, every creative, you need to have that third eye to be able to, you need to be very, very perceptive. You just don't walk across town without noticing things that are happening around. If you're at a lorry station, you're seeing different characters there. You're seeing the driver's mate, you see the driver, you see somebody selling plantain and roasted plantain. You see all kinds of characters in their elements. These are all resources that you have to look at with a creative mind. Because once you start using that third eye and you're seeing things around, you see them differently. So when you are presented with a script or a creative idea, you are able to go back into that memory bank and pick from there to put into your thing. It happens with actors. It happens with the directors and producers and all of that. Pusher's Walk, which he did, was something that I saw when I was very, very little, because I had an uncle who was a seaman who used to come, and in order to make people think that to know that he actually was a seaman and he's coming from the jets of the ship, he needed to walk like he was still on the sea, and the ship was swaying.
She'll be blown away when you mention the galley. Do you know the galley? Galley,
yeah, the galley is actually where they eat, like the kitchen and the restaurant. So that is you realize that most of the guys that came from the sea, whoever, they called the walk the galley. You know, but then it was later on that I went offshore that I realized that, okay, so this is the connection to the name, the galley. And that is where that walk came from. So when you see things, even when you're very little, it should stay in your mind, so that when the time comes, then you pull it into your execution.
Interesting.
Yes, I love it now. I should have a galley, a signature galley.
I used to.
Yes, that's very true.
Now I walk and then I'm crooked a bit, so there's no difference between my.
I know, right? Well, back to the whole policy conversation.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we have it, like you said, on paper, but how to. Okay, then we have the okay.
No, that was not. Okay, yeah, that's Pusha with the galley. And his galley is like unique.
You know, you need to go with the handkerchief.
And then there was the Simanjole.
Yeah.
Oh, so Siman used to have that as well.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Simajole.
Yeah.
So it's Simanjole.
Yeah, Siman's girlfriend.
Never knew that.
Yeah, it depends
Where was
on
I
where
all these while?
It depends on where you wake up from. Where you want Simanjole.
I never knew, man. I see. So you were talking about the policy issue.
Yes, I was talking about the whole policy thing, fact that we have it on paper. We've had lots of discussions about it, but how to actually push it forward. And it looks as though we only see or we only hear us talk about it, and we don't know where it is going. Looking at the film industry now, do you think we have a future? How can we?
Of course.
Yes.
The future is very bright for the film industry in Ghana. The fact is that film thrives on a number of things, not only policy, but also on the will of the people that are involved in that sector. We have a training school that has trained people, National Film and Television Institute, which is now Unimark IFT, has trained students for over 40 years. So it means that if we walk across your studios right now, we would see people who have been trained by that school. The same way, any production that is going on in this country, that is of good quality, you would find NAFTI students playing very key roles in it. And that covers the part of the human resource. Then you're also talking about equipment in terms of, so when you're talking about the human resource, not only crew, but also the cast. You have the School of Performing Arts has also trained thousands and thousands of people. And then there are also other acting agencies or training centers that have been producing people. Then in terms of equipment, we now have a lot of film equipment in town. And in the past, film equipment have been very, very expensive. So it was always the state that invested in them. That is where we have the Ghana Film Industry Corporation leading the charge for the film industry, because the equipment were very, very expensive. And then you also have to buy the film stock and all that. It was very expensive. And our legends like Mr. Quasigah, who did, I mean, most of the times, it was very difficult for ordinary people to do. So he took a lot of strong will to get him to produce Lab Brooding African Pot and Heritage. But now, you with a simple 5D or even your phone, iPhone, you can tell a story. Do you understand? So in terms of equipment, things have become very easy for us, and that's where you see a lot of content coming out there. You also have outlets. In the past, you literally had to go to cinema houses to put your film out there. But we now have, by way of technology, we now have even the YouTube, we have all kinds of places. In the past, we had to put Things We Do for Love on television. And if the TV station rejected our work, that was the end of it. But right now,
there's an app.
We have apps, we have YouTube, we have all kinds of platforms that you can put your work. So it is the opportunities are endless for us. We have a teeming number of people who are young people who are interested in acting, which shows that the future is very bright for the industry. The only problem I think we have as an industry is the fact that the end, where after you've produced your content, how you monetize your project. So if you take your film to the cinema houses, or you put your film to on TV and all that, the returns are much more smaller, because we are competing with for television. We are competing with content from Mexico, from all over the place, and those contents most often have done their circuit, like they've been funded and they've made their money. So in selling them, they come so cheap. So there's TV stations that they just want to make money and not interested in, investing in the industry, would go in to buy an episode of a telenovela for like $50, $5,000. They can get so many episodes, and then they run them on a TV station, put adverts in between it, and make their money. And it's so cheap for them to make so much money with, so that they don't look at the interest of the industry. So that's where the challenge for our industry is, that we are not able to make return on investment. I trust you, if we are able to solve that problem, banks will be running after us to give us money to shoot films, because you can guarantee that when you make the film, you will be able to make 3 or 4, 5 times what you have invested. So they will bring their...
How do you make 3 or 4, 5 times? Are there practical ways to speak to us right now and say, solve this issue?
We have 35 million people in this country.
Okay.
35 million or more in this country. In West Africa, I don't know, film travels not only in Ghana. If we make a Ghanaian film here, it should be possible to be watched across West Africa and even Africa and the rest of the world. Now, even if 1% of the population of Ghana watches our film, what is 1% of 35 million? And each person is paying, let's say, 20 cedis or even 50 cedis to watch a film. That would give you enough money to be able to produce and continue to produce.
Does that come from the streaming, or?
Okay, so in my effort to try to solve the problems that we have with showing our films in cinema houses. Remember, in the past we had so many cinema houses. In fact, the Ghana film industry alone had so many cinema houses spread across Ghana. With the sale of the Ghana film industry, we don't know what has happened. Some of these film exhibition centers have turned into churches and all kinds of things. So they are not really operating as they used to. And then the video centers that we had before have also, we don't know what has happened to them. So it's difficult to really take your work out there. We do not have a company that is specialized in distribution of films, distribution and exhibition of films. So you as a filmmaker literally would have to go around to try to show your film. One, because you want to be sure that nobody is dubbing your film, because it's, with the new technology, it's easy to just copy your film onto a pen drive. So you have to watch that. You have to go watch the gates to make sure that the number of people that are in are the number of people that the venue people are declaring to you so you can make your money because you share it with them. And so, and then with a limited number of these exhibition centers, you can't quite make as much as you can. How many people would go to watch a film at, let's say, Silverbeds, if you release your film? Maybe in the first week, a lot of people might go, but then the next week it has not get. But then you may have spent so much in promoting your film. Can you imagine if that film, you get the release date and it is being released across so many cinema houses across Ghana? That would give you the leverage to make enough money. You get what I mean? So it is a very challenging area for the film industry. And so in order to resolve that or to solve that problem, we thought that how could we come out with use technology to leapfrog the challenge. And that's when we came up with Farmhouse Movies app. The app just operates like the Netflix and these things. But then the unique thing about this app is that you are able to download it like on your Google app or the Apple App Store, and then you can navigate it and see the film you want to see, and then you click on it and it would ask you whether you want to pay with mobile money or you want to pay with cash, with card, which means that you could use a MasterCard or Visa card to pay. Yeah, but connected to your bank account. And we have a payment platforms that we are connected to, so they enable that for us. So once you pay, you make your payment and it gets through, then the film you are allowed to watch it, just like you've paid your monthly this thing on Netflix. And we operate different models, so you can pay per film to watch, or you can pay for the month to watch as many as you want to watch. Now, the other thing that is unique about it is that we have a back end where if a Ghanaian filmmaker brings their film and gives it to us, we would be able to give you your access to your back end, so you can see how much money you are making, and then what is coming to you. So basically, that is what we were thinking that we could do.
How has that helped you?
We have over 300,000 subscribers now.
Okay.
It's growing, and we have not promoted it commercially because
I figured that
we were in the phase of experimentation. We wanted to see whether it is viable, whether it's something that can work. But then the response shows that it's possible. Now we're looking for some investors to come in so we can scale up to a point that could take us across. Our plan is to concentrate mainly on Ghana for now, and then later on to West Africa, and then maybe then we can go to Africa, and then the people of African descent across the world. That should be the possible answer to the challenge of the distribution that we have. Okay. So I hope that we will be able to get over it, not only with the app we've created, but also other people who are also trying to solve the problem of distribution.
So the app again, Farmhouse
Movies for now. But we have a plan of rebranding it to a new name so that it can be more generic, because Farmhouse Movies was just connected to Farmhouse Productions. But we would need to, at a point, step aside so that it's something on its own.
Yeah. How much does it take to make movies like, because I'm biased towards this, we still have history that we have not told. So Kwame Nkrumah is there, Jerry John Rawlings is there, Ephraim Mamu, maybe General Gowon somewhere. There are stories around Africa that we've not been told. Why?
It costs a lot of money to make films. You see what is happening in the US. A film can be made for about $100 million, $200 million, and the rest. A film like Kwame Nkrumah could cost over $10 million to make. So it means that it's a major investment, which means you need, so if you're going to produce a film, that maybe we are talking about 10 million, the actual filming maybe just about 3 million or 4 million. But then distribution, marketing, and all those things come in. And because you have to send it across. By the time you finish all that, it could cost you about 10 million to make that film. Now, that aspect of the work, the marketing and promotion, is where your return on investment would guarantee your return on investment. So you have to spend money on that to do it. So film is not just the production aspect of it. You have to look at it holistically and be able to do it. But it costs a lot of money to make films. If you just concentrate on just the actual filming, you could spend the money to make it, but you might not get it back.
Well, I was wondering if we were over the issue of we only cast certain faces because the movie must sell.
Yeah. Basically that is, no, we're still there, because one, when we were trying to create Strike, which was the test production we did for the Farmhouse movies, the question was that, who are the people that will be leading in this production? You have, as a creative mind, you also have to have a commercial mind attached to it. You need to know how you plan your process in a way that you will be guaranteed that you can gain some returns. So if you put unknowns as your leads, obviously it will be difficult to sell. So you have to look at it. And so we realized that, okay, when we put YOLO onto the YouTube, you gain a million people to watch, but the returns on YouTube are not good. It's very small. You can monetize your content, but the returns are very, very small, because our region does not attract huge advertisements and things like that. So it's a bit tight. Then, so if you are doing when we were moving on to the app, what we did was we looked at people that can bring viewership. So the casting, the lead actors have to be people that have following on social media. Right now, even if you're bringing people on your TV, you have to have an idea as to what is the following of that person. Yes. Now you are also creating your digital posters where you want to put people, you want to advertise your TV stations. Remember, things we do for Love Days, you had only the one or two TV stations, and you sit down and watch. I mean, Thursday Theater, all those times. It was just one. But now you have over 100 channels to compete. How do you get ahead? And it is only when you feature people that have following, stories that can trend, people that things that would interest people, because people's attention span has become very, very, very short. People are watching things, so many things on the go. So sometimes by the time they get home, they are even tired to sit to watch any other thing. And some people can put on their TV and be on their phone and be checking things. So it means that you have to think of all these dynamics before you make your casting decisions.
But doesn't that worry us? Because you said that we're producing lots of students, I mean, people who have gone through training and all of that, and the future should be looking good because we're able to bring lots of talents on the market. Yeah. But if we're still casting, I mean, based on very, very genuine reasons, where does that take the young
people? So you see,
has he been a culprit of that?
I
have seen, not him necessarily,
okay. But I mean, he's
but generally,
in that space.
You see, you can, if you watch even my casting, when we were coming to do YOLO, one of the reasons why we've had to have the older people from Things We Do for Love is because there's some nostalgic this thing of Things We Do for Love. People wanted a continuation, but we couldn't just do that because they've grown out of their character. So in order to do a subtle sequel, we had to bring them in. But the other idea was that they had such huge following. So we had to build on them, use them as the leverage to pull the new ones along, and it worked. So you just have to have the way you can do it. And I'm not saying all the people in the cast should be old people, people that are known already, but you can have a nice blend and give the opportunity for the new ones to also show their talent. It is within that mix that people like Fela Makafu stepped out, and you can see, you've not seen her anywhere before, but she's got the opportunity where Jackie Appiah and Pusha and Majid and the rest who have made their names were. But in this particular situation, they had taken a step back and playing more like a supporting role, and these younger ones had a lead.
Interesting, very interesting. I see House of God, I see Memory Lane, I see Sewa. Are these your movies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand also that you're an elder of a church.
Yeah.
What it means is that I'm tying it into what we have also started here, Dominion TV. The Archbishop, Nicholas Duncan Williams, and of course Lady Rosa Whittaker Duncan Williams, are ones who also believe in using the movie as a tool. So you find us getting into Taste of Scene. And I know that you are the king of series. When you say series, you are the king. Do you have any advice for us? Of course, I asked you when you
were I met the Archbishop when we came out with House of God, because we were thinking about putting it on Dominion TV.
Okay.
That did not go through, but when I was coming up the stairs, I've seen some posters on 700 million Christians across Africa. It means that we have more than half the population, or about half the population of Africa. If the population of Africa is about 1.4 billion, you have about 700 million people that we are targeting. That is a huge market that can sustain a film industry. Do you understand? So Christian movies should make it. And I think Taste of Scene was just to test the market, to see how that can be received. And I noticed that it has been received very, very well. It's won an awards, and also has been seen across so many platforms, was doing so well on Netflix. And so it means that we have a chance for Christian movies to thrive. And so for me, it is one of the areas I've been looking at. House of God is was for me also a test to see how the reception is going to be like to Christian movies.
I'm happy. I'm having this conversation. This is my future. Don't spoil my talent, please.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. But finally, before we go, what was special about Love Brewed in African Port? Is that Kwanzaa's movie? Yeah. It's
a number of things. The first is that at the time it was made, it was practically difficult to make a film, especially an independent film. Most of the films that were produced leading up to the production of Love Brewed in African Port were made by the state or connection, a co-production. So there was Contact, which was a co-production between Italy and Ghana. There were Ayamino, I Told You So, all those black and white films, all those films that were made by the Ghana Film Industry, which was a state-run corporation. So Mr. Quasigah was the first individual, he decided to go out to look for loan to this thing. The story is that he actually mortgaged his wife's father's house to gain. It's a huge risk that he would, if he hadn't done well, it means he would have even lost his wife. You know, the entire family would have been very upset with him. So it was a huge gamble he took, and for that we are all enjoying the benefits today. The other unique thing is the story. It resonated with the people because it is this story about class, where there is a class of a society that felt that they were just about next to the Europeans. At the time was a colonial era where there were white people, white quarters, and then the few blacks that had opportunity to be on the fringes of that community felt that they were better than the people that were on the other side. So for somebody to think that he could fall in love with a girl from this community, it was like an abomination. And that is something that we have seen play out even till today. And so the story was good. And then the production values. It was shot by seasoned filmmakers. I mean, Mr. Chris Hersey, Dr. Chris Hersey, who is like the doyen of cinematography in Ghana.
Still alive?
He's still alive.
Ooh,
yeah,
no.
over 80. And he was the DOP. There were all the people that when we entered film school that we admired and we learned from, worked on this. And so this is like a test case of what filmmakers in Ghana can do. And it was all African Ghanaians who were from the industry who worked on this.
Right.
Do you understand? And when Mr. Quasigah said, when he writes Chris Hersey, because he sounded European, he had to put Chui in the middle, because that's his middle name, so that you will know that he's a black man that made this thing. And so it's something that is a classic. It will remain there. Love Reading African Pot is a story that is told in every family. You have that fathers not being happy with the choice of their daughters and all that. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Ivan Quashigah does not like this. Biadela used to say that when you say cast this person, he doesn't like it. But you see how beautiful she is.
Yeah, yes.
You want to
I can see her in her production.
I have fixed you already. I
know. It's not about who knows you, it's about who you know.
we had wanted to get you so that we can have people even calling in, but we know you are very busy. He's on the set of a lot of movie doing production, so this is the only time we got him to come to studio. But we're grateful. There's a lot of things. We'll be celebrating you very soon as well.
Amen.
Because you deserve all of it. Final words before you go.
Well, I'm very happy that you brought me here. I'm very sorry the last time I couldn't make it because it coincided with the production. But I'll do well next time you call me. I'll make sure I come. It's a month of love, so I wish all...
ladies.
All ladies.
It's just ladies. We don't.
Month of love. Men fall in love, please.
But of course, once again, we've not been able to get Chris at all. It's 1 a.m. around the United States of America, so you can understand. It's very difficult to wake up to do an interview, and so we'll see how. But he's out with the movie 9, and so I hope you go to watch that. Also go download the app Farmhouse Movies on App Store, Play Store, App Store, and so get it and choose your choice and watch, and let's make some money for the legend as well. It's been a wonderful time, isn't it?
Yes, I've had a great time. Thank you so much for coming.
I'd like also to add Mr. Maoli Semevo's issue. If we can, let's use this opportunity to ask people to support. They're on social media. There are numbers that people can donate to him. From here, I would go there to see him. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you for we said it earlier, but we should have brought it out. Thank you very much. So that's Mr. Ivan Quashigah, the legend. I mean, once you talk movies, it's synonymous to Mr. Ivan Quashigah in Ghana. And so it's been a wonderful time. We're back tomorrow to do it all over again. My name is Kokulubo.
And my name is Precious Biadala. See you tomorrow.